Hey everybody, Courtney Smith here with our Wall Street winners for April the 12th, 2021. Time's flying. Here's our disclaimer. It, of course, never changes because it's a classic. It's a classic. So things are looking very good for the stock market. Let's take a look right here. Obviously, as I told you, the situation was bullish last week. I told you that for several weeks now. And we're seeing it come to fruition. My prediction is right on the money. But I think we're going to carry on even further. It's not going to be a wild, explosive bull market, but it's going to be a nice bull market. So one thing that happened here was obviously we had the breakout. We continued on that breakout. The purple predictor has started to accelerate and is now finally above the previous high that we had made in mid-March. So that's a bit bullish as well. It had been a bit of a negative here. The Dow Jones buying pressure way up. Selling pressure is now at a level that's very hard to sustain. That is to say, there's too little. So we might see a little bit of pickup of selling pressure, and that'll cause the market to kind of slow down its advance, maybe even dip a day or two, but it will be minor. Also, the buying pressure, which is the little green line in the red box, it's not at a super high level. So there's also room for more buying to come into the market. And as you know, we're seeing a lot of money come out of cash and out of bonds and into the stock market. NASDAQ also breaking to new highs, not to new all-time highs yet, but the purple predictor is remaining bullish. So NASDAQ stocks look good as well. Seasonality. Let's take a look at the top one. That's stocks. Unless we break that red line on the downside, I'm hanging on to our stops. Normal seasonality ends at the end of April, beginning of May, so we're still in that period, and there's no reason to change our attitude of bullish. Now, the utilities broke to new highs. Remember, we talked about this last week. We've got to get long utilities. Their normal period of bullishness starts in May. We're not in May yet. We're in April. But I look early because sometimes seasonality can kick in early. So right now, I want to get long utilities. I won't put on a big position right now, but we will get bullish. Our seasonality looks like it's very bullish over the next week, then a little bit of a dip, and then we take off again into bull territory. So looks pretty good. What can I tell you? Asset allocation. They are moving money out of the bond market. They are hammering the bonds. They are getting the cash and they were putting it into stocks. And that's boosting the stock market right now. That's where the cash is coming from. Stock market risk indicator. They don't want conservative things. They want explosive big profits. And as a result, they're getting out of bonds. They're getting out of boring stocks, and they're getting back into more NASDAQ type stocks. Still, NASDAQ has a lot of catching up to do, but nonetheless, the trend is moving back in that direction. Global shares break to new all-time highs in the last week. Awesome. This is supporting to the U.S. market, and the U.S. is supporting the global market. We have central bank easing around the world. That money is sloshing around, and it's going into the stock market. Yield curve stabilizing up around this 165 level. I like it up here. It doesn't have to go up higher anymore. It's just solidly bullish now. So gotta love it. Bonds. I think we're putting in a short-term bottom in bonds. Maybe we'll get up to 140, 142-ish, somewhere in that area. Maybe as high as 143. We'll get a little bit of a rally here. Purple predictor, though, is becoming more bearish. So I'm not real strong on my opinion here. But at least some type of a bottoming price action, I think, is in place. Bond key factors, we've highlighted these the last several weeks, so I won't waste time here. But they're all calling for a pause in the major bear market in bonds. Yield should stabilize at around this level. Dollar under pressure because the dollar had been strong because interest rates were moving up, causing money to flood from the world into the U.S. to buy U.S. interest rate, 10-year treasury notes, things like that. But if interest rates are going to stall, then the dollar is going to remain under pressure. And if the dollar's under pressure, that's going to help gold. Gold actually made a new high. We had the high back in March. Last week I talked a lot about the gold chart, and I said we have a potential double bottom. Everything is fitting. We broke out on Thursday. We didn't stay there, though. So I think the thing to do is we'll be into a minor bull market that'll carry us up to, let's say, up to 1820. But first, we have to close higher on the week. That would be a good thing. But we're going to get a nice little minor rally, as I say, up to about 1820. Gold factors turning bullish, 2 bullish, 1 neutral. That's a big change. We have been running more like 2 bearish, 3 bearish, that kind of thing. So this is a big change, and it's all related to the dollar. WTI stable here. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think we'll stay in this 58 to 62 range for another week or two. There's no reason for it to break out here. There's no big increase or decrease in demand. There's no big increase or decrease in supply. And Bitcoin is going to break out now. We're going to see a breakout to the upside. The only thing that's negative is that volume continues to decline. Now, that can also be bullish. If this is an ascending triangle formation, which it essentially is, then declining volume is exactly what you want to see. And then when it breaks out to new highs, that's when you're going to see the volume start to come back into the market. So I'm turning bullish again. Will be a buyer on a break to new highs, which is way up there at 61,000 and small change. All right, everybody. Freebies, love having you here. You just keep following. We're telling you exactly what's happening in these markets. We have not really made a mistake in a long time. And you know, I'm always telling you, I'm always transparent, telling you when I made a mistake. So keep following us here. It's going to help you out. Why am I so concerned with you making more money? So you can afford to buy a fully paid up membership, of course. All right, freebies. Talk to you later. Fully paid up members, hang on 1 second.